Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah, Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide, baby. That's right. Oh my God. Absolutely cuckoo show. We're going to break it all down for you. Alicia's taking the night off. Bill, as you might have seen, was at the show. And yeah, Zach Potiphar. So what do you want to talk about? Well, we're gonna talk about everything TNA tonight, from the returns to the title contentions to the drama and just everything. So and we had some guests at ringside. That's always nice to see at a big pay-per-view in Las Vegas. And so yeah, Bill should be in here relatively soon. I don't know how long the show is going to be. It's just me for now. So sit back, relax, grab a cold one, kick back. Happy 420. It's towards the end of 420. So if you partake in such 420-ish delights, hope your day was awesome. Um, I partook in a little earlier. In fact, if you heard my earlier show today when I was on with the Ramblers Unleashed earlier this afternoon, you'll see that sometimes I shouldn't do edibles live. So nothing that insane happened. I didn't toss a computer or toss a desk or anything. Uh, 420 never ends, right, John Palmer? All right, so like I said, sit back, relax, kick your shoes off, grab yourself a cold one. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button if you're new here and you're digging the content, and ring that bell for notifications so that you do know when we're live. Because we've been known to be a little late at times, just a little. I know I'm full of it there. Anyways, we'll take care of some home stuff first. Make sure you check out all the links in the description, the socials. You can follow the crew. You can also check out the latest merch. There are some new designs in the Spreadshirt shop. I haven't uploaded them to the PWTs. I should really get on that. But nonetheless, Spreadshirt shop, that link is in the description. Go check that out. Give the YouTube page a sub. You can follow us also on the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Nobody likes to talk about their X, so I don't know why they changed the name. So, they should have just kept it Twitter. But that's me. Anyways, what else we got here? Looking at the personal Facebook chat, and it's some other crew members are responding to tonight's surprises. And we are very thankful for tonight's sponsor, as it's a sponsor in all of our shows, is Manscaped. You can check out manscaped.com. Check out the stuff for men and women on there. Great stuff. I use it all the time, for trimming the beard or trimming other stuff. They got everything for top to bottom, no matter what you're trying to do to keep yourself looking nice and neat. And if you use code TNI, you can save 20% and get free shipping. That's about the best deal in town I've seen on anything lately. Just saying. So go check out that link in the description as well. And let them know the Bone Man sent you. So, it's got a lot of familiar faces in here. Like I said, make sure you smash that like button as we get into things tonight. Bill should be in here soon. Well, Vegas. It takes a while to get through Vegas. So, but we'll try to be patient. We'll see what happens. There's someone in the chat already booking Slammiversary's card. We did get that. I mean, I can cover a little bit of news before we jump into the card. We did get the reveal for Slammiversary. And let's see, where is the visual? Here we go. We got this visual up somewhere towards the end of the pay-per-view, I believe it was. We got Slammiversary Saturday, July 20th at the Verdun Auditorium in Montreal, Quebec. Canada. Card subject to change as always. So sound off in the chat. Who is going to Slammiversary? We got some other stops to make first. I believe Under Siege is next. And then I believe Against All Odds is coming back to my neck of the woods in Chicago. Now, those tickets went on sale. I have not gotten mine yet. I may have to skip this one. So someone else can have my front row seat that I never purchased. If I do go last minute, I'll just get like a bleacher seat or something like that and make a trip down there. We'll see. Nothing crazy. Last year was quite the expenditure. 3 shows, 3 titanium spots. Oh man. Seeing a lot of positive about the show tonight. Let me know what you thought. Here, I'll put a few up on the screen here. John Palmer says, good show tonight. Some unfortunate camera shots, though. I'm not sure what the unfortunate camera shots. Are you talking about like when what was that? Nick Nemeth got flipped over and landed and then knocked some light fixtures off the stage into like the cords from the cameraman, and the feed went fuzzy for like a couple seconds. Is that what you're talking about? That's about all I can think of, honestly. Let's see. Eli Samuel says this pay-per-view was a fire. The post-D'Amour era started off hot. Let's talk about that for a second. This, everyone's talking about new eras, in professional wrestling. This year, we've seen a lot of changes to different companies all over. WWE, Triple H doing his thing with that company and really shifting gears to what we saw in TNA with the firing of Scott D'Amour. And a lot of people, now look, wrestling is subjective. Everyone's going to have their opinions. I'm sure there's still people out there, unfortunately, saying that, oh, TNA completely went to hell ever since he left. You know what? I don't think they have. I mean, is it going to maybe take a little time to for for us to see some significant changes over the course of the next year. Yeah, we're gonna see certain things, but we were already seeing stuff on TV and and the pay-per-view tonight. Especially thinking about who returned. That is a big sign of a company without Scott. I'm just saying. Yeah, hey, love Scott, love what he did, but it's a new time. So oh, John Palmer, you're talking about other unfortunate shots. Okay, I get you. Oh, that's gonna happen. Jordan Merrick, how good was Octo Muda? I'm assuming you're talking about Jonathan Gresham there. Santana's return gave me goosebumps. Courtney here being excited about Broken Matt Hardy, Callihan. She says she knew that one was happening. Excuse me. What else we got in here? Justin Slam could be big. The venue could hold up to 4,000 people. Well, that should be interesting. We'll see what they set it up for. Definitely a bigger place for Montreal, isn't it? Don't they usually do? I'm trying to think where they've gone in the past. They're not doing the Don Koloff Arena no more. Certainly, that's they're gonna. I think they're definitely gonna try to expand. They pack them in Canada. There's no reason. I don't think there's any reason why they can't. You just gotta, you gave them the surprises. Now you gotta book it good. Give them a reason to stick around. Mike Santana's back. What's he gonna do? What is Matt Hardy gonna do? Pay-per-view ended with him holding the title. Is he going to go for the title right away? Everyone's like, oh, it's going to be Slammiversary. Hey, it could be Under Siege. Could be Against All Odds. And it's all things that, kind of feels like the story's taking place with all of these. It's like the company's under siege from the system, against all odds. Somebody's against all odds. The odds are the system, So there's, you can tell kind of where the company is going with this. And I'm sure it means other things, other rivalries are coming too. What else we got in here? T Hughes holding down the Twitch. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Anyone else in the Twitch tonight? Scrolling down. Some new faces I'm not familiar with. Jack. And some letters and numbers I'm not even. Here's a panda-looking character. HC0023 says, "What's up, everyone? I thought it was a great show tonight. TNA, baby, LFG, as in let's fucking go." All right. Bet. Aw, T Hughes. I'm sorry to hear that. Look, hey, I know we don't have a big Twitch audience, but we always appreciate you showing up and holding it down, and I hope we get a few more people joining you tonight. But thanks for being here, man. Truly appreciate it. No, Doctor. I was. Oh man. I see. I was waiting for this, Doctor Gerbs. I was waiting for this. Um, I appreciate your opinions. Like I said, everyone's got someone they love or hate or whatever. You're not a fan of Nick Nemeth, so you're like, hey, drop the ball again. Hey, he may get a rematch because I don't know if I, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you saw this. If you did see this in the chat, light it up. Let me know. Let the Bone Man know. He had his left shoulder up. Now, before you say, oh, no, he didn't, go look. Go look. He was rolling out of it, and the ref was on the other side. He didn't see it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But I respect your opinion, Dr. Gerbs. See? His arm went up. I know I'm not the only one that saw that. See? Panda guy said it. Yep. All right. Give me just a second here. A good brother is having some technical issues. So just hold on, folks. We're going to get him in here in a minute. And hopefully that helped him. That should. All right. Looks like Bill's going to be logging in here soon. Great to see. I know he said his joint was not too far away from the Palms, and he wasn't staying at the Palms. I don't know why. He should have just, Bill goes to every flipping show. They should be comping his ass by now. I'm just saying. Come on, get some TNA love for Mr. Front Row Bill. Well, maybe he wasn't Front Row Bill tonight, but he was there. I could see him. Bell's boy with the $10 chat, as always. Super chats and super stickers are always welcome. No amount too big or too small. It's all love for the show and helps it grow. We appreciate it. What's Bell's boy got to say tonight? Glad that Mike, Santana, and Sammy returned to TNA. Not so for the 189-year-old Matt Hardy. Damn. Oh, Bell's boy. My goodness. Who's next? EC3? Oh, at least EC3 is in damn good shape. I'm just saying. What are they calling him nowadays? The Overman? Something like that. Is he still NWA champion? I believe he is. At least last time he came to my neck of the woods, he was. I really should try to go to one of David Hero's shows because he has them literally a minute from my house now. It's crazy. See, who's the latest one that's coming to town? I believe it's Gilbert, the legendary Gilbert. Well, here's an opinion too. 2024 EC3 looks way better than the shambling corpse of Matt Hardy. It looks like his hair needs conditioner. Oh my. Well, here's an opinion too. Ziggler for world champ. Oof, careful with that one. Speaking of world champ, my partner in crime tonight. Look who's here.
Jayba.
It's a Bill.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going, man. Just holding down the fort, chatting with the audience here. Haven't dove too much into the show, just kind of getting people's general overview. They're very excited about most of the returns and stuff tonight.
Yeah, like all the returns, like it was, no debuts, all returns tonight.
This is true. No new faces necessarily. Maybe some new to certain people of the audience, depending on when you became a fan.
If you've only been watching more recently, yes. Because some of these go a couple years back, obviously. Sammy, not long ago, last year.
This is true. He had to, save up, get a little more hair dye, and I don't know what he was doing over in MLW. You would know what he was doing over in MLW.
Yeah, he was part
of behaving himself over there, or what?
The Calling faction with Akira and Ricky Shane Page and company. But like I said, I think it was pretty evident he was on one of those MLW like 3 appearance type deals. Like maybe you squeeze in another one or so, like kind of like Riddle's on too. So beyond that, like I remember we talked previously, I always thought he could come back after that. It just seemed like this was a temporary thing because really it was just a contract issue with TNA. So
yeah,
what side maybe caved, or did they come to a middle ground on where they were and best for both parties? That's probably what happened. They probably both inched back to where it made sense for both of them, but it seemed inevitable.
Well,
I'm going to start talking like Matt Hardy now. Inevitable.
It's inevitable. Well, like people in the chat are saying, it's a new era all around because, you got this company saying it's a new era. We've got the post Scott D'Amore era kicking into full gear here. We went through some tapings. This is the first really big pay-per-view under a new president. And,
I did see the president said hello to me. I saw Anthony cool. And the good doctor, Ariel, the kind of the top of the pecking order right now at TNA.
How about Dr. Ross? How's Dr. Ross doing?
Well, not Dr. Ross. Dr. Ross is a little, he's just under there. But from everything I'm hearing, like Ariel is actually doing a lot of the, like, he's kind of the day-to-day guy. Sort of like how you have like the president overseeing everything, but he's kind of the guy all the creative folks report to.
Okay. And Josh Matthews is still significant role too, right?
Yeah. He's still involved in the same things with production, to my knowledge. I haven't seen any wind of any changes there.
Okay.
So like him, obviously, you have Eric Tompkins, then obviously Dave Sahadi doing a lot of that stuff. So I know I've seen some new names that have obviously been involved with some more of the vignettes we've been seeing. So I think they have expanded some of the production backstage. So the things to keep an eye on, because I think that has to do with like the one that Jorge Barbosa is doing. So I think he brought in a few extra people, or at least people we now know the names of.
I think Armand here is correct because he reminded me saying Tyrone of AJ Francis's crew was a debut actually. Well, yeah,
you're right. Like, he did have some debuts with that stuff, with that and Sean Merriman. Like there was some debuts per se, but not your typical wrestlers, shall I say? It seemed like more of a crew.
Okay, so are they more just like hangers on as opposed to professional wrestlers? Maybe. I guess we'll have to
That's
wait
what
and
it
see
seemed, but
because
I don't know all the details of his
I
crew.
have no clue who that
Like obviously we
crew
had some.
is.
I wasn't very aware either. I'm sure there's people watching this that have much more of an idea, but I'll have to get more familiar.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for Steve from the music video to show up. You know, his biggest fan, Steve.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's biggest fan, Steve. now, J-Bone, I know you haven't really talked about the show yet.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't gone from like
any...
breaking down each match yet. Yeah.
Okay. Have you talked about the rumors that were out there, the news on the possible? Well, the name I've mentioned a lot over the last year or so about coming back, that PW Insider was putting out there.
Oh, are you okay? So a lot of people were talking about who was going to possibly show up at the pay-per-view today. There is another name that is getting tossed around, and I think you're talking about a former knockout.
I am former world champion knockout, not knockouts.
Former
world champion.
world champion, knockouts champion. Humble beast. Loads of jingle. You don't have to. We're just because I've been going for half an hour now doing.
You've been newsing for opinions
and yeah.
I got to thank Bell's Boy for another. Is TNA cornering the market on retired NFL players? Evening, J-Bone and Bill. They sure are.
Oh man, what era is this again? This feels like WrestleMania 3 again. For Refrigerator Perry and all the guys showing up.
In that battle royale, or was that
was
2? I think 2 had a wrestle. Like there was a bunch of football players in a battle royal.
Was it 2? It might have been
2.
You know what? I think you're right.
From one of the cities.
Yeah, that was.
But I think we probably have mainly Moose and AJ Francis are probably the 2 guys connecting a lot of those players to do stuff with TNA. But remember, TNA has a history of this. This isn't new to TNA. Like back in the day when they were in Tennessee, they had the Titans all the time. Frank Wycheck was in an angle. Like they've obviously we've seen D'Angelo Williams.
This is true. So no, the only name we have not talked about yet is Tessa. And now the name's starting to show up in the and there's mixed emotions about her. Let's talk about her for a bit. What is the general consensus? Using these $5 words here, I can't spit them out because, well, gummies. Consensus. Haha, got it. What is the general feeling of the crowd, the people around you? Anybody mumbling stuff? Any opinions you heard today at the pay-per-view while you were there?
I didn't hear a lot about it. I heard a few people mention like here and there, like, oh, Ted, like, because they probably heard the rumors of Tessa, but they seemed excited by Tessa because you heard the same thing. Well, you heard the whole crowd like chanting delete at the end. So like everybody was expecting Matt Hardy. I felt a little bad for Sammy because he came in at the spot where I think everybody was expecting Hardy. But the weird thing is that shouldn't have been the spot. I'm a little confused, and we'll go over when we talk about the knockouts match. I don't know why all that booking was in the knockouts match. That seemed a little
that was crazy.
Because in the end, there was no knockout debut in that match. It was all male competitors in that match.
Right.
So it was like that's where you would have expected a Tessa or maybe I don't know any other debut. I know there's been some other rumors beyond Tessa.
There's a lot of other up and coming free agents in the indie scene. You know,
Yeah, well, I know there's a former NWA women's champion that's available.
Yeah,
Camille,
yeah. T Hughes all over it here. Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go over the card. We don't have to do a deep dive into every single one because I actually I missed the whole pre-show, but we should at least go over results and if you have any general feelings about some of these matches because you were there. You
know? Yeah, and it was not your typical three match countdown show.
Yeah. So yeah, which feels like it's like right in there.
You know? Yeah, when you're doing an hour. Yeah. Like it's more matches than hyping up. It's a good mix.
Yeah. Plenty of time for entrances. You got time for the matches to breathe. You got time for commentary to quick run down some matches in between. You know, that's a sweet spot right there. 3 matches in an hour. All right. So first we start off here with ABC with Leon Slater versus the Rascalz. And we got all 3 Rascalz, including Myron Reed. We saw some back and forth, especially between some of these new faces like Leon Slater and Myron Reed. What'd you think of it?
Oh, I know. I thought it was. I think we were saying it the other night. This could be like a show stealer type match with all the crazy athleticism in this, and that's exactly what it was. Like when you saw them all go over the post in that sequence, where Myron goes over the post and then Leon follows him outside over the post. That's not something you see one guy do, let alone more than one guy do. Yeah, exactly, Barry. That match makes you want to see that again. So I guess you can go with that book, and it did surprise me because obviously ABC, unless Leon Slater does become a part of it, a more official member of it, it did seem surprising that the Rascalz. It feels like they took another L. Like it feels like they've been taking some L's lately. So with Myron Reed being like, I think the way I was looking at it, if the Rascalz won this match, that would make you think Myron Reed is kind of locked up. He's going to be a fixture going forward. Them not winning, I think, puts that still up for debate.
Okay.
Maybe just another one-off or a short-term thing.
Someone in the chat talking about the roster page looks to be fairly complete with some of these new faces. Let's see here.
They just recycle Sammy's picture and they take a new one.
No, there is Sammy's in there. It's an older picture, but you got like newer pictures of like Rosemary, Rich Swann, Rhino, Rascalz. I'm not seeing. Oh, Mike Santana's in there. Wow.
Well, he already had his T-shirt available at the merch stand.
That I thought was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he might have been wearing some older gear because I've seen pictures of him wearing that at AEW. But yeah, like Leon Slater's in the roster here again, or newly, I should say. Excuse me. Knockouts tag champs, new picks, great to see. So they're keeping everything fairly fresh here. First Class as a new pick together, you know, and there's some faces here we haven't seen much, but they're sticking them on Explosion Bar like Bhupinder and Champagne and a handful of others.
It seems like once you show up on television in some way, they put you on the roster page. And it used to be once you weren't on TV anymore, you're taken off, but that's kind of, I wouldn't 100% go with that anymore. The taking off of the roster page seems to not really have rhyme or reason.
So, yeah, and we'll see. Myron's great. He's got great chemistry with his boys. So I think it's just a matter of time. I'm not sure why it's not, maybe he's just got too much on his plate with other stuff. I don't know.
Well, yeah, like he's a guy that's obviously does a ton of indies. So to kind of get him to not commit to all those. But I think the Sammy connection, because he does a ton of Revolver shows with Sammy, that probably does help with Sammy being back in the fold. But seems like even more likely we'll see some of those regulars from Revolver. So that's probably a good sign, honestly, for Myron.
Yeah. Humble Beast is no Heath, no Kelly. Well, Kelly's taking a break. He's been gone for a bit, but he's still doing the indie scene. So I think he's just biding his time until something.
He's out there.
Comes along.
He's out there.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Gotta love him.
Hey,
I'd say
you could almost reform, because I heard about some free agents up north coming down the pike.
Oh,
3-man band. Bring it back, J-Bone.
Yeah, it all depends on what Drew's doing now, right?
He could be the third. Or we could have a 2-man band.
Compete. Yeah, right. Why not? Jinder Mahal, who'd have thunk? Along with
don't hinder him.
Along with I was going to say someone who we thought was Trent for the longest time, Veer Mahan.
Could see him too.
So, yeah, it's changes all over the place. All right, ABC and Leon Slater win. Fun match, and we got the DMC on the line, Digital Media Championship. Crazy Steve defending against Laredo Kid. Now, this was a pleasant surprise. I did not see this coming. This win.
Well, we were talking about
Laredo
Kid. I saw this coming because I thought they had to do this, even though Steve had that push. But I'm like, if you're gonna do anything with Laredo after you've given him some character this last month or so, this is the time to do it. So I was thrilled, and I'm a big Steve guy. But I think Laredo needed this. So a belt on Laredo. I got to imagine he has it through Chicago, because that would be something to really emphasize.
Yeah. Justin Miller, super chat saying, member for 2 months. Thank you, brother, for the support. Much love. He says, love him or hate him, Matt Hardy is currently trending number 8 on Twitter with Rebellion. Hey, not a bad thing.
Wow.
A lot of people been talking about him. A lot of people been talking.
Delete.
He is a polarizing character. Future world champion? I don't know, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll be in the conversation.
Delete.
That sounds like a... that sounds like Albany to me.
You're right. Right. So yeah, congrats to Laredo Kid. We'll have to see where this all goes, especially with Crazy Steve, because it really felt like he was gaining some momentum. But we'll see. We'll see. The character's dope though. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Knockouts tag title match, Spitfire versus Decay. This one was a little predictable. I didn't see it going, so some people were like, oh, it's hot potatoing. Well, it kind of had to change back and forth a bit due to, roster circumstances and such. But
yeah, it would feel too quick just for the sake of it doing another change. And you gotta give a Spitfire some kind of run.
Yeah. So congrats to Spitfire on retaining. Now, post-match, this is interesting. Masha comes out with a chain, and I thought she was going to come down to the ring and start bashing heads. But she came down to the ring, and she's pointing, the typical point, hey, you, getting Spitfire's attention. And out comes Lish.
We were just talking about it, J-Bone.
We did.
When were they going to pick this back up?
Just maybe.
Yeah, it's like they were throwing it out there, then they're like, let's not talk about it, but here it is. And then we did get a follow-up and a promo later on the show that Masha's not part of the system. Like officially, like they were saying, like Gia asked, is Masha now in the system? No, Gia. She's not part of the system. It's a means to an end that they're working with each other right now. But as of now, not a system. So no Masha and system promos, sadly.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these two come out. I mean, they are quite at least tonight, they were quite the odd couple. Masha's very rough around the edges, while Lish had a long flowing dress on and was looking very elegant.
A kendo stick.
Full of shenanigans, but yes, still, not as much elegance as Ash, but close.
Nobody has the elegance of Ash.
Don't tell her I said that. I don't want you getting any more champagne thrown your way.
Nope.
Is that why they put you where you were at tonight? Because you told them no more champagne in the face?
No, I'll happily. I said I would dive in front of the champagne for Ash.
Oh, look at this. Chivalry is not dead, folks, especially in Las Vegas.
Or wherever that was.
Right. All right. That's it for the pre-show. We got starting out here some protesting, which was kind of corny, but typical for the Ali crew. Because I don't know if you've heard some of the interviews that have been happening, the Ali on Busted Open Radio, that interview was actually very good. Thunder Rosa was just straight out calling Ali chicken shit. It was hilarious.
Whoa! Settle down.
She didn't hold back. And he's like, what's this language? I'm a politician, or I'm a man of class, or something. Oh my!
He's got elegance.
It's so funny. Yeah. Well, does a man have elegance, or is it just class?
First class?
No. Well, that's different. Okay, we'll get there. But we start out here. Jake something versus Ali. Great way to start out the show. The protesting did not work. Jake something full force in this match, but Ali retains. Bill, what you think, man?
No, I thought it was good. Jake was impressive, and they let him be, I guess, officially more Jake, because this is the first time I think he's wrestled without the cover over his leg tattoo. He just let it go for the world.
Oh, did he?
Unless it came off during the match, and then
maybe
he finished the match with that full sight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might have come off then.
It may have, because he was all over the place. So he may have lost it early in the match. But
yeah, that was going.
No. I thought it was. Obviously, you have the whole angle they're going where he's not X-Division, even though it's no limits. I think we talked years ago that Jake could fit into the X-Division. So I think it's an interesting thing. It's good for a heel to kind of use that angle, not to fight him. But
yeah,
it isn't like Ali really gets booed that much. It's like this heel gimmick it's trying, but the fans like him too much.
Well, yeah, I think there's a fan base of his that is excited to see him in the X division in this company. And babyface or heel, they're gonna root for him because they appreciate how he's being booked, big picture wise, So let's go backwards a little bit. What do you think of DJ Ashba doing the national anthem?
Oh, I liked it, and I did see, because when he came out, when we talked about the other night, I'm like, because I've been to Guns N' Roses a few times. I'm like, was he on one of the versions? And he definitely was. Because I definitely when I saw him, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen him play before. Yeah. So no, but I thought he did a great job. Obviously the standards Jimmy with the Star Spangled Banner. But I thought he had a nice little twist to it of his own. So no, I was.
Oh yeah.
It's a good thing to do. Like, it's a good mix to get that in there, and I guess he's based out of Vegas now. So hey, anytime you can connect sports, like pro sports, with wrestling, with rock and roll, and that stuff, it's always a good connection. Try to get some crossover deal, and that's what this show had tonight. Like we talked about earlier, the NFL players, former NFL players, somebody from like major rock and roll acts. Like, these are like, they do bring, and like we went over like AJ, but like he had those, like, they're definitely known, the people that were there, maybe not by us, but by other segments of fan bases.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is smart, because you look at it, the biggest acts up north are people that me and you really had no clue about, like Bad Bunny, Logan Paul. Like, these people are their biggest acts now. Like, there is something to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get crazy, because TNA used to do that a lot. Remember all the Jersey Shore connections and things like that. But it doesn't always work. But when it works, it can be very successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Emong here asking about the figs. Yes, I did pre-order them. I think a few other crew members are going to order some of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you go whole set?
Very excited. What's that?
Oh, boy, J-Bone.
Oh, the whole set? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were pulling the trigger on the whole set.
Yeah, it was
you're a fig guy. You're a fig guy. You're a fig guy.
Yeah.
Tough not to.
And this has been a long time coming. I've got a few customs of modern day TNA Impact Wrestling wrestlers. But it's nice to get some actual ones. It's really cool. So I'm very excited about those.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, but it's
air that stuff on the TNI show.
Yeah,
the unboxing.
I'm hoping that it's not we don't have to wait a year for them or something like that. That they got some plans. I'm sure it'll be a couple months. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Like quick would probably be 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. Hopefully. So, yeah, as soon as we hear some more, we'll be reporting that on here. What's next here? So Ali retains. He beats Jake something. Seems like Diener and Jake are kind of chums again. He kind of helped them with the protesters. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it might be an official.
The people brought this together.
Oh, of course, the people. Yeah, well, of course, the people are going to say, "Get out of the ring. We'd like our wrestling." So.
Well, some people like wrestlers that just sit in a ring and do nothing.
Oh, jeez. Are you talking about like pipe bombs and stuff like that? Or are you talking about something else?
Maybe.
Oh, what the hell was I going to say? Completely forgot now. Anyways, back to the matches. Hendry versus Swann. This was interesting. We were talking about this a little bit, that AJ Francis had like a whole crew out there. Sean Merriman at ringside, former NFL player. Dude, that dude is big. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But Rich, the homie, Swann. I gotta see if they actually add that. I wonder if they put that in the lower third.
Now, what was Bret Hart called? J-Bone.
Bret Hart, the wrestler? He was called the greatest of all, what the hell was the catchphrase?
Come on, J-Bone. Was it Bret Hitman Hart or Bret the Hitman Hart?
Oh, the Hitman. Okay. I thought you were talking about...
No, it wasn't the Hitman. It was just Bret Hitman Hart.
See, I always thought it was the Hitman.
You put the in front of everything. You're a the guy.
I could have sworn that's like one of those things, like you grow up, you hear it in your head, and you think that's the way it's supposed to be, and then people tell you, no, you've been thinking it wrong this whole time. There's a term for that.
We're getting deep here. It's a playoff. Rich homie Quan.
Rich homie Quan. I don't even know who that is.
Well, that's why you don't get it.
Obviously. Hey, see, I'm not the only one. Vince Burr. I thought it was the Hitman too. Brett. I know.
Well,
there's.
It depends how you do it, but
like Vince McMahon always said, Brett, the Hitman. I know he did.
Should be Hitman. Just Hitman.
All right. Well, yeah, decent match between these two. I did like the fact that Merriman got involved. It did feel like there was going to be some kind of justice for Hendry happening here, but then you should have known that it was going to go the other way. He ends up clobbering Hendry, and Swann gets the win here. How was the response to that, crowd-wise? What'd you think?
Crowd not happy. They were rooting for good old Joe. But there was shenanigans. There was a lot of shenanigans in this match. So that's there was a turn. There was a double turn. With Sean Merriman looking like he was going to help out, but he really wasn't. So crowd was not in favor of this.
Yeah, good definitely. Next, we got Full Metal Mayhem. I unfortunately did miss this one. I'm going to go back and watch a bunch of these. Kaz versus EY. I did see a lot of ladders getting used. EY at one point, one section of the match I did catch, caught the biggest ladder. Kaz threw it in from the outside. And actually, you were actually like right next to him. He threw the ladder in, and it caught EY. Jeez Louise. Harry Young right in the head. And he just went down like a sack of potatoes. And was holding his head for quite a while. I was like, oh, damn. He's gone.
You get involved with those ladders.
That was ugly.
Anything can happen.
You never know how they're going to land. But
that's why he's the king of TNA.
Was it? This is Joe. I am so sorry. I did it again. Kaz, the king of TNA. Yes.
You have permission.
So was it? Enough gimmicks in the match? Did it need some more? What'd you think?
Well, they did have some other gimmicks, like they had the tables, ladders, chairs. But they had some. They have some cookie sheets. There were some other. It felt like there were a few other items, but you don't need to go too crazy. That like Full Metal Mayhem, you're mainly doing it with the tables, ladders, and chairs. So no, I thought they did pretty well with it. They kind of went through everything. For guys that are like some of the ones I remember are like Jerry Lynn, Rob Van Dam, Full Metal Mayhem match, like where they're doing more like acrobatic moves onto them. But for these guys, that's not their style. They're like brawlers doing it, using a little bit of ropes because Frankie, especially later in his career, does everything off a rope lately. So he was doing the like off the rope onto the ladder. Yeah, the springboard. He's Mr. Springboard. So a different version of a Full Metal Mayhem match, but I enjoyed it.
It's like the E-Way is catching on in the chat. It's smart.
The E-Way.
EY is the E-Way. All right. Now this is where things really. Yeah, right. This is where things really start to pick up in the show. So Maclin comes out. Now he cut a promo on the Go Home show saying that he was going to make his presence known. And there was a lot of talk about him anyways because of the immersed thing that was on YouTube between him and Nemeth. If you haven't checked that out yet, folks, make sure you do. It's a nice, it's about 20-minute special from producer, director, George Barbosa. He does most of those cinematic ones that they're just so well put together, these documentaries, you know. So Maclin says he's got a brand new TNA contract. Great to see.
Yes.
Great to see.
Wasn't official.
But
he said a match right now would make it official. So can we therefore make sure it is official? New deal?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the stipulations was he wanted a match. Yeah. So hit the music. Santana Marella is like, you lucky Samanagan. I so happened to have someone backstage, and I just signed him to a new TNA contract. And talked some other gibberish. So it's like, oh, great. So pretty upbeat moment. Not too looking to be too dark and spooky like a lights out thing. This certainly wasn't. This was the return of one Mike Santana, formerly one half of Conan's LAX. So thoughts on Mike Santana returning?
Great to see. Great to see acts that they left for various reasons, and obviously for them it was to get onto a new stage, a bigger stage. Yeah. But I think the recognition from him immediately about being home was like it seems like it was the right fit. And I know back when LAX was in TNA and Impact, it was, when is Santana going to break? I think everyone thought of him as the breakout guy from that team back then. It was like, because it was the Lucha Brothers, you had them, and it was like, okay, when is Santana going to break out? when is like all these other guys. So now here's the opportunity. Now he's got it right in front of him, and now we'll see what he does with it. But he looked in great shape. Looked definitely ready to compete near the top of the division. So we'll see which direction he goes in. Obviously, Maclin, we saw with Nemeth, he's kind of been a gatekeeper lately for people to get towards the top of the card. So we'll see where he kind of fits out in the next month or so.
Yeah, because and it was actually nice to see Vegas get behind Maclin. That's a sign of respect there. You know, maybe he's not everybody's cup of tea.
He isn't, but it all depends. Because, like I said, I've always said this about Maclin. Like, he'll come out and he's looking for the support. Like, it's just like naturally comes to him, like to get the fan support. But then at some point he'll realize, do I want the fans to boo me? And he'll do something to get them to boo him.
Right.
But obviously here, and I did see Maclin earlier today. He was at a signing at a store, picked up a shirt there, kind of Maclin vein. But yeah, hopefully that does mean Macklin's also staying along. I think Santana, Maclin, Matt Hardy, Sami Callihan, they all help fit in some of these departures. And that's what Impact and TNA, no matter who's in charge, has always done a great job of, is things change, people come and go. You replace them on the fly, some with indie free agents, some with names from the past, some with names you really don't know, and they make them into somebody. So, good signs tonight.
Yeah. Bill, if you don't mind, take a step back from the camera. I want you to show that shirt off real quick. Give people a look-see at the shirt.
Hey, J-Bone's big.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, that is slick. I like it.
So kind of his like normal Reaper style, but
yeah,
I got one in the kind of the Irish look.
There we go. Yeah, because he does the Jameson
style
kind, but this is his own specific shirt, right? It's not a TNA
this one isn't.
Shirt?
No, this one's not. This is from but it looks like it might be a company he's going to be maybe partnering with, sponsoring. But definitely very similar, like styles. And he even I was talking to them today, and like his T-shirts could come from that. Like, I don't know if any of them have. They might have already, honestly. Some of his not TNA shirts, the ones he sells like at indie shows and stuff, may already be coming from there.
Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, great to see Santana back. I had a feeling it was either going to be Santana, possibly Riddle. Honestly, I'm glad it wasn't Riddle.
Him walking out after losing that title did not sit well with you the other night.
No, it's just, he's just dancing down the aisle. It's like, dude, when you lose a title, you hang your head. You don't portray the, hey, I lost the title. Hey, no, that's wrong. Go back to class. I'm like, shit, if that's what he's going to do in New Japan, of all places, I don't think I want to see him in TNA. I don't know. I get the gimmick, but damn, it's just crazy. But anyways, but yeah, welcome back, Mike Santana. Can't wait to see what's next for him. Best of 7 with Steve Maclin. Just take up the next few months and just let them just
tear each
other.
Create
feud of the year. Seriously, let them rip.
Why not? Why not?
Tag titles on the line. The System. Myers and Edwards defending against Speedball Mountain. This was fun. System was all over Speedball Mountain, especially Trent Seven. Seemed to have a rough night at the office. A really rough night.
Yeah. Yeah, he had to take a lot of their kind of their two varied versions of their finishers, where they kind of hit both their finishing moves in succession.
Yeah,
like there was the first time, and then he kind of had, and he kicked out of it, but then he got that second time, and he did not kick out of it. And as Stevie says, the system works.
Yeah, it does. It does. You may not agree with it, but it does. Oh, I just caught this. I want to backtrack just for a minute. Back to Mike Santana. Oops, wrong one. Jack here says, J-Bone, very interesting. Does LAX return also? If you go listen to Chris Van Vliet's interview with Mike Santana, very good interview. Does a deep dive into what Santana's been going through with his rehabilitation, comeback from injury, getting sober, everything, the stuff he went through with Ortiz. Great stories. And he has this, like, he was doing a tag stuff with Ortiz through so much in his early part of his career. He's ready to do it solo now. He has no desire. Excuse me. He has no desire to be in a tag team anytime soon. So I'm really excited for this solo shot he's going to get. Not to say he can't tag with anyone in TNA, but he's going to focus on a singles career, and I'm sure they're fine with that.
Oh yeah, no, it's time. He's done his tag team runs. So let him have his singles run. But obviously, he always knows he can lean back into that if he needs to. Very good at it.
Oh yeah. He's one of the best when it comes to tag team stuff in the last 10 years, I'd say, in my opinion. Just underrated and underutilized, you know.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe at some point he gets his own crew. Not necessarily a tag team, but maybe he has his own group that he could lead. Like, you don't need a Conan being the mouthpiece. Let him be the mouthpiece for a future LAX style team.
Something. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Some up and coming. He's proud. Was he Puerto Rican? I believe he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or some luchadors coming up in the industry, and he could take him under his wing or whatever. Just, totally. So the system retains here. We'll have to see what's next for them. Of course, they get a lovely surprise at the end of the show. We'll get to that. Hammerstone versus Josh Alexander. Absolutely. Hammerstone. Absolutely one of my favorite matches of the evening. Hammerstone is just when you didn't think he couldn't get any more, cut looking. Jeez Louise. He looks like from because the tapings are taped. We know that. From the time that he was in Philly a few weeks ago till tonight, he looks like he dropped about 20 pounds and it just turned into muscle. Like he got more toned up. Crazy.
Yeah. The last month, you can tell he's been doing one of those regiments like Moose does at times too, where it's just like the cut, but Hammerstone's a whole nother level. Like he's like, we haven't seen a guy that much in the gym probably since Cage. He
I was going to say Cage. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, but what'd you think of Josh Alexander?
Oh no, I thought. you get last man standing as a stipulation, you know you're in for something, because
totally forgot
that
about
stipulation.
The stipulation. Sorry.
Well, like that's something that like you're going to have to do some pretty big attacks in a match to get someone to be out for a 10 count. Like that's not easy. So obviously a lot of back and forth, like all over, a lot of stuff on the ramp outside the ring to get that extra impact on moves. And that's how it ended, where Hammerstone could not get up at the end. And I wasn't sure how this one would go. I thought this could be a putting Hammerstone over moment. But obviously Josh still cements himself still right at the top of the card by winning this match. But once I think Hammerstone, if you thought maybe he was just a big bodybuilder type wrestler, I think you got to come away pretty impressed. Even though he does power moves, like he can wrestle. Like he is good in the ring. So
yeah, like it's kind of typical with him back and forth. Like, you know, this person hits this move, this person hits this move, this person hits this move. If you're doing like a suplex, they roll through it, turn around, suplex, roll through it. You know, for like a counter, like you didn't get me. You know, that like that. I never get bored with that, because it's like whoa. It's, you know, like who's going to fall first after a succession like that? That's crazy stuff. I love it. You know, and they really hit that tonight. So, hey, Mayor, jeez, where have you been? Hey, better late than never. Welcome, Mayor. Because usually
welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. He's usually one of the first ones in here, but hey, that's okay. We don't care when you show up, just as long as you show up. We appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for being here, man. Make sure you guys, anybody coming in now.
Evening of rebellion.
Yes. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button, smashing that sub button if you're new and you're digging the content. We bring this every Thursday night, post every TNA episodic episode. So welcome to the party. But yeah, I love this match. It felt like Josh, I mean, it may seem like the piece itself was kind of corny, but it's such a significant piece of his gear and who he is, his appearance and his aura, the headgear, you know, kind of like the Steiners and stuff like that of past. So yeah, it was cool that he got his gear back, and it kind of puts a period at the end of this one. But I'm still looking for big stuff from both these guys. So a lot of new faces, plenty of room for new rivalries and things happening. We got the tapings. I'm sure there's going to be surprises at the tapings or some new stuff. Who knows? But yeah, tremendous match here. Jonathan Gresham. Now, did you guys see the promo?
Yes.
Okay.
Because at first they started playing it, and it's like, well, is this? But like, I knew pretty quickly it was another Gresham promo.
Yeah.
So it seems like the whole thing is just Gresham.
Yeah.
It's like not it wasn't a group. It's a new version of the Gresham character now. But pretty cool, but very like a different character, really.
Yeah. I like it. You know, he typically always came out with the octopus mask on, all the tentacles, the octopus head and stuff. Now he took like the whole front of the mask off.
Yeah.
And it's more like a luchador mask almost.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. Do you know what the vibe I was getting from this one was like? If you saw the Jared Leto Joker, Like it was like giving me that kind of vibe.
Okay, yeah, because he had the grill and
like the gangster Joker.
Okay.
But like gangster aggression.
Oh yeah, Justin here says Octo Muda. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, it's a different look. It's kind of like what Leo Rush does. He changes his look up so often. Like right now, he's back on the Indies and he's doing like a super dark art phase where he's like all just goth, which I think is great, but so similar but different. I appreciate it, and we'll see how we'll have to see how it's presented outside of these promos that he's been doing. So, new music. What's the entrance going to be like? Is he going to surprise you and come down with a new faction? We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. Although this one made me feel less faction than some of the previous ones, but who knows? Still could go anywhere.
Yeah, and the only reason why I say faction is because it was like as he was speaking, as he was showing this final version in this fourth promo, everyone around the table that was around him, they were all like responding, like the hands were out and then they were pulling their hands back. So like they were all doing, I don't want to say choreography, but choreography to what he was talking about. They were all reacting to him. So that's the only reason why, I don't think as corny as like what's going on with PCO, but kind of like the Undertaker he had a period where he had the hell were they called? The torch bearers, and he would walk underneath them, like those guys. You know what I mean?
The Druids?
The Druids, thank you. I couldn't think of the term. Like something like that, but not necessarily the Druids. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe Solo. We'll find out. Ash by Elegance then gets announced by the concierge himself, and they're up in a box checking out the Knockouts title match. And there's a guy behind the concierge who we later come to find out is Ash's husband. And apparently he's a professional fighter. I don't know, some big jacked guy.
Yeah. I did see him up there, but I wasn't sure from like looking up who it was.
Yeah. It was like he didn't necessarily have the spotlight on him, but the camera was on him and he was just a couple seats away from the concierge. So I'm like, okay, this guy's, I don't know who this guy is, but he's someone. So
yeah, because I remember when they first went up there and Iceman was talking, and it's like you saw this big dude just standing there. It's like, what is his purpose?
I almost thought it was a guy with Dango. Or was with
Tyler
Dango Breach. No, in TNA.
Oh, in TNA.
The Russian.
Oh, you thought it was Proteus?
Yeah, it looked a little bit like him from the side, just a little. Maybe not. Maybe that was just the edible I had earlier. Anyways.
That may have been.
What? He did what? So Steph DeLander versus Jordan Grace. Now, there's a lot of shenanigans that happens in this match. Was this like too much
WrestleMania like 2 main event shenanigans?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. That's what this felt like.
I don't know, J-Bone. This is sound off in the chat. This is going to be a debatable one. because there's like, it's tough to go with a right amount of shenanigans, but there was a lot to unpack here in this match. Like sometimes so much can happen. It can be a good car crash. But there was a lot going on here. Yeah.
And
like
you're not
I think
wrong,
overbooked. I think overbooked is
like
a fair description.
Whatever.
Like you can like the overbooking or you cannot like the overbooking, but it was overbooked.
Yeah. Oh, totally. But I
think most people are going to go with it because obviously Jordan Grace is known for very stellar matches, and because of all this overbooking, it kind of gets lost in there. And like I get again, like all of the shenanigans had nothing to do with the Knockouts division.
Well, yeah, especially when Khan was like beating up Jordan. I was like, oh my God. I mean,
just that they do tease occasionally Jordan fighting intergender again, but then they never really follow it up. But unless that's the only thing I could see, if this is somehow a connection to get her involved in a feud with a male wrestler in the near future.
TNI wrote the book on shenanigans. Thank you, Zach.
Oh yeah, like we're the most overbooked review show in history.
I'd say, as much as we go off.
Sometimes it works in our favor. Sometimes it works in our favor, but it was a very overbooked match for a match I wasn't expecting at all to be. Like I thought the main event could be overbooked. I thought some other matches had chances of being overbooked, but not that match. Like, I guess when Cardona was going to be there, it would have some of that. They have been teasing something, and then with him not being there, they had to scratch it and do something else. So this was probably not the original plan. And they're like to give them a little bit of an out. I don't think this was the original plan.
Yeah,
but it just too much happened. Too much. You cut half of that back. It, like at one point, it felt, let's get everybody on the card. Like, and we'll start right now. The connection to have the good hands at all with Steph.
It took me a minute. I'm like, at first, I didn't even recognize him. I'm like, okay, Cardona's not coming out. Who are these guys? It took me a second because I'm like, I couldn't. Well, because it just didn't. It didn't.
They still work here? Is that what you were saying, Japa?
What's that?
Were you saying they still work here?
Oh no, it's just like you said. If you didn't see the connection, it takes you a second. Like, why are these guys? Okay, are they part of Cardona's crew? And then I was trying to like backtrack and remember like what they were doing before this, and I'm just like, okay, I guess they were
doing Ali stuff. Like they were backing him up, and he kind of said, "Hit the bricks."
That's what it was. Yeah,
they're the fill-in enforcers.
Ali picked the Grizzled Young Vets. Yeah. So. Terrence Sullivan in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Oh yeah. Craig, I kept saying, what are they doing? Says in the end it was fun. Okay, yeah. All right.
No, it was fun. Like you got a PCO spot. It's always fun that. Like you get the Sam a return. It just but where could they have put that? That's very debatable where they could have put that.
And PCO was almost seduced by Steph.
Oh yeah, that was your humor right there.
Well, just how he reacted, because at first he was like, "Whoa," like, hey, it's been a while since I've been touched like that. His
Poor
eyes were
PCO.
rolling back in his head, and he was getting wobbly. I was like, "Oh shit!"
I did hear
lost
someone in
it.
the crowd
I
yell
lost
out
it.
"Bride of Frankenstein," and they weren't too far off. They could have went with that gimmick.
Oh, they could have. They could have, yeah. And then she just uses him to, crush her or whatever,
Yes. Take out villagers. Left
Go
and right.
go distract the ref some more, please. So yeah, lights out. We also, once PCO and the good hands were done, how do I say this? Beating up, be careful how I said this, beating up Jordan Grace. Lights out, but it wasn't the lights out of that we got at the end of the night, but it was a lights out. We get the return of Callihan, and he helps clear the ring with his baseball bat. Clearly a little stinger, Are you happy to see Callihan back?
No,
sound off in
I'm
the
happy
chat
to see.
too. Are you happy to see
Yeah,
the Death
I'm
Machine
happy
back?
to see Sammy. Yeah, like I said, I thought I was probably more optimistic when Sammy left than most, where I thought he would be back. And I think it's best for both parties. Like, I think it's better for Sammy. I think it's better for TNA, so that they could come up to an understanding to bring it back. I think that does make sense. And because he definitely has a very good mind for the business. There's no doubt about that. We'll just see kind of where he goes from here.
Great to see him back. People telling Michael to simmer down now. Oh, what else we got here? Bell's Boy. It was the most overbooked match since J-Bone shared a bathroom with Bison in Chicago a few years ago. Dear Lord,
Ooh.
are we still talking about this?
I got to, J-Bone.
It's a little fuzzy, but I think we still have the
oh yeah, I can't ever go.
You got hair on your booty cheeks?
Oh, we're close. That's not it though.
You're almost there, J-Bone.
Yeah, we're close.
You need to help you out.
Yeah, if you got it, go ahead. Do not go in. There's also this What happened in the room? No one will ever know. Yeah, he grew his hair out. He got some new hair dye, grew his hair out. Great to see. His hair's always been all over the place. So I'm not gonna. The classics. Yes, Justin, we still have some of them. Yes. I think we're gonna put some new ones in there soon though, because I heard plenty of voice bits from tonight we could throw in there. If we get someone on that. New bits. Yes.
We need a new scumbag.
Terrence, you're too nice. You're too nice, brother. Saying that the TNI post show is better than Rebellion.
Whoa, settle down.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but hey, love you guys. You know we love our audience. So welcome back.
We got some, it's good stuff. It's just how it happened, and a lot of it happened in one match.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. We got the Juggernaut driver. We got the Cactus 97. Yeah. Yeah. So that's I can't even imagine what the hell they're gonna do with the tapings to follow this up. Because if we have a segment, if we I swear to God, if we have a segment with Callihan and Jordan Grace just kind of like, awkwardly talking to each other about the whole thing, I'm gonna piss myself laughing. Be like, Jordan be like, so thanks for the help, Sammy. How you been?
Now, J-Bone, I'll kind of go back to something we talked about earlier. Could this be a long, drawn-out way to connect Sammy and Jordan storyline-wise as allies, and then you bring Tessa back because of the Sammy history, but to really face Jordan?
I'm okay with that. As long as they don't do the whole Tessa going for the world championship thing again. Yeah.
No, but acknowledge the history. Yeah.
And I'm good with that. One time TNA champ, whatever you want to say, just to give people a little, hey, by the way, there's this. Stay away from the controversy. And we could talk more about, we could talk about Tessa all night as far as the controversy, what we want her to do, what we don't think we need her to do or want her to do. And there's going to be a million opinions on this across the board. But yeah, I did see a lot of articles regarding her coming back. So we didn't get Tessa tonight.
No.
Which is a little odd considering how many people were talking about her in the shit sheets and whatever. Do you think she comes back tomorrow? During the tapings? Do you think you see her?
I think it's possible, but I would say maybe the next tapings in White Plains is where she shows up.
Depends on how far the talks are going,
or all,
because you never know.
It didn't really get reported that it was a done deal. It's more that there's talks, and I feel the information probably got fed as a trial balloon to see how reaction out there would be for it. So I don't think it's imminent. So I feel like we're like a taping cycle away. So we'll see. But I like I said, I've been in favor of it for a while. Like, I think there needed to be a cool down time. But I think it makes the most sense for her to come back.
Right. If she is going to go anywhere, I think, see, we're already seeing mixed stuff in the chat, which is fine. You can choose to miss her. You can choose to not want her back. It's okay. Just everybody keep your opinions respectful. That's all we ask, So, yes, Bell's boy, you are correct. She is currently in CMLL. She lost her deal in AAA. We don't need to get into all that. The controversy besides that. I did see a funny headline regarding her, and I can't remember exactly how it went. I'm going to try to look it up for the next show, and we can have a few laps at it. Something about international relationships, and I'm just kind of like, all right. It was something along that lines. So, but if you know her past, you can have a little giggle at that. So, all right. Then we get the announcement. This is pretty big, and they've been a little slower at this, but it's fine. But this one came tonight. We got the announcement about Slammiversary, coming to the date is Saturday, July 20th, and it's at the Verdun Auditorium in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. That's a new joint.
Yeah, they have not played there. Well, they haven't played Montreal, period, in forever. And I do not believe that's where they played in when they were in Montreal. So, yeah, it's like an ice hockey.
Typically, it's Toronto, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, Toronto, Windsor, London, Mississauga. So, yeah, no, they haven't touched Ottawa years ago for Bound for Glory. So, yeah, they haven't played Montreal. It's been discussed multiple times, but they never actually did it. So no, this is a big one because that's a hot wrestling market for sure. So I think it's a 4,000 seat potential arena they could set it up for if they wanted to. So no, everything's looking good.
This is not Scott D'Amour's neck of the woods. That was Toronto, right?
No. Well, Windsor is Scott D'Amour.
Windsor
country.
That's it. Someone else said in the chat, and I don't remember. I brought this up before you jumped in. Someone in the chat, I don't remember who, but someone in the chat said something about it holds up to like 4,000 people or something. I was like, oh my. So
yeah, it's a hockey
how
arena.
They book it, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so right. No, they could definitely set it up for like
a lot of people on the floor.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. That's great. And Canada loves their wrestling. They love their TNA. So fill it up, you know. We've got some more names. You build the rivalries, you give them a reason to come, and they're going to come. It's not rocket science. Yeah. You just got to, you know.
Now, it'll be interesting to see because it's a big venue like that. Are they going to do the one-off pay-per-view, or are they going to have TV tapings afterwards? Because that's the only thing. Technically, based on the time frame, the calendar, like the Philadelphia tapings were set for pretty much 4 weeks. Now they're going to do Slammiversary 3 weeks into that. So are they going to can material and air it after Slammiversary? Which the old regime did do that before. Did a live pay-per-view and then air canned material after. Could they do that? Maybe. Or do they tighten it up? Maybe make a plus special, a taped, not live plus special, and air that later? Could do that as well. Or do they play a second venue up in Montreal? Because I don't know if you'd play a venue that big and for just TV the next night. Because then you'd have to configure it for a lot less seats. But that might still be the most practical.
You'd have to configure. Yeah, you'd have to set it up differently because I don't think a Sunday night they would get.
Because you got to remember it's a Sunday too.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'll be interested to see. That's something to pay attention to for the fallout regarding that announcement if there's tapings.
Yeah. Yeah. Main event time. Moose defending with his system out there, of course, versus Nick Nemeth for the TNA World title. Nick's brother was in the audience for a majority of the show from what I saw, along with his father. His brother, of course, in AEW. They did not get involved in this, which I thought was good, you know. Surprised me a little. But
especially once the system got kicked from ringside, then they didn't need to get involved.
Right. was thought there might be a little more shenanigans, but it was funny that Lish's shenanigans it was actually her fault that the whole system got banned.
Eventually, you're going to get bit by it when you get involved all the time. That's who she was.
Yeah.
Still the best.
Dr. Gerbs. Dr. Gerbs says, ha ha. Oh, man. Mayor coming up with all sorts of stuff for Slammiversary. Says, Jinder, Indu, and Sheer debut at Slam. He also mentions Jordan versus Natalia. They've been going back and forth a lot.
And that would make sense to do it there. So,
yeah.
Because you almost, if you want to try to book a lot of that building, you need a couple marquee matches to draw people like we saw Hard to Kill. But in the end, they did fill out the Palms pretty good. They just didn't have that top, their 300 level open like they did for Hard to Kill. That's where those 1,600 people came from, 1,600 plus. Yeah. But for this one, they still went over 1,000 by filling pretty much all the seats everywhere else. So
yeah, the crowd looked good. 1,200. Crowd looked good.
Yeah.
So before the lights out happened, what did you think of just the match itself, Moose versus Nick Nemeth?
Now, I once again, a comment I heard from somebody while it was going on was like they didn't realize Moose could sell as well as Ziggler, like that he was. I guess Ziggler's known for the former Ziggler, Nicky Nemeth, but they obviously in everyone's mind there he's still Ziggler. So that's what you keep hearing.
Oh, sure, that's just like after 20 years. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
like he oversells every hit he gets. But they're like, was Moose mocking him, or was he just like because like Moose was like he was really into it tonight. Like Moose was way into it tonight, kind of matching him almost in a lot of stuff. And I know because of it, some stuff might have looked a little funky at times, like with some of the moves, because like they were almost just bouncing off each other at times, because they're flailing. There was a lot of flailing with some of the like after effects of moves. But no, I thought they did pretty good. Like you saw some almost finishes. Like how many times did Moose almost hit his finish before he did? Like it was a lot of times. Like reverses and false finishes, but then he obviously when he hit it, it was definitely it was the right one. Moose needed the win more than Nick did. Nick really didn't need it. Like I know the whole thing was, hey, I'm not going right after the world title, but he went after it pretty quick, so he didn't need to win it that quick.
He did. I had a feeling because his family was there that he maybe was going to, and then they'd celebrate in the ring with him. I still think there's an opportunity for him to become world champ, especially if he is planning on sticking around long term. And it doesn't
I think
have
that's
to be
the whole
against Moose.
No. And I think that's what it is. Like you have to know if you put the belt on him at some point, he's going to hold that belt for a minimum of 6 months, if not longer. So you need to know he's locked up. And like right now with his commitments, he's not at all the tapings. He's at most of the tapings, but he does do New Japan still. And he'll miss, I believe it's already confirmed, he's missing one of the tapings in the near future. So
he's also going to Mexico.
Yeah, like and he has these other commitments, and like he's been on board for almost all of them, but he did miss a full rotation. Now he did send in a video, as we're talking about certain people that didn't do that earlier. So he was still part of storylines and everything going on, but not having the person physically there, you might as well be hurt. Like there's only so much you can do without the person.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, I know he's going down to Triple Mania. I think it's sooner rather than later. It's within the next month or so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, I think it's pretty
he's
quick.
wrestling the former Alberto Del Rio, Al Patron.
Oh, yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, you put my Booker hat on, and you try to think like someone running AAA. Do I put it on someone like Nick Nemeth, who is a star, can be anywhere he goes, even New Japan, or do you put it on someone like El Patron and try to help him with his career and get it back to what it was with someone somewhat of prominence? Because I'm like, God, did they not have anyone else? Jeez Louise. Because I just think about what he's doing in the States, and it's like, wow, have the mighty fallen. But down there, it's different. We'll have to wait and see. See, I'm sure a lot of people were looking like myself. Do you want to tell them?
Oh, I wound up near the tunnel. I was near the tunnel. So
yeah,
you probably will not see me if you were looking. There might be some type of wide shot or something. But yeah, I was back near the tunnel today is where I was. So
yeah, like because I was looking too, and I got a little worried. I'm like, my boy's not in the front row. I'm like, what's going on? So I texted him, and I'm like, Bill, did you make it to the show? What's happening? And he's like, yep, I'm right by the tunnel. So as soon as you said, I'm like, tunnel, and I'm like, oh, the entrance tunnel. And as soon as you said that, and they had the appropriate shot where you could see past the front row instead of just a level shot where it was more across, then it was like, yep, there he is. Yep.
You just need to know where to look.
There you go, folks. Yeah. But bonus baby, good evening. How is El Patron in the match anyways? Here's a better question. How is Nick Nemeth in the match? I mean, granted, Scott D'Amore did put out the thing at Hard to Kill that there is still a very good relationship between AAA and TNA. That being said, I guess that's where you get it.
Well, Bell's boys got the answer. He was named as one of the contenders for the title due to his history in the promotion. Plus, he was a former champion.
Okay. Well, that sounds more like El Patron than Ziggler, but we'll see. And those two do have history. So, I mean, there is that. It just goes back 10 years.
There's history. There's history.
Yeah, you could call it that, yeah.
But then, speaking of history, J-Bone, we kind of already talked about it, but then the lights really did go out.
Oh, yes, we get the lights.
And honestly, I would have said, if the lights didn't go out at the end there, our lights out would be a little bit underwhelming. And I'm a big Sammy fan, but how it was done, if that was the big lights out moment, it wouldn't have been that much to talk about. This one, though, I thought was a better use of it.
It depends on. Well, I like how they did it on commentary because they're like, "Oh, the lights went out. This is lights out." Like when Sammy did appear, but there wasn't all that stuff with the screen and the noise and the static and everything. That came post main event, and then you heard the classic broken Matt laugh that most people are familiar with if you know the character. If not, go look at some old TNA stuff. It's pretty bizarre. Yeah, we get the return of Matt Hardy. I'm not jumping up and down about it because honestly, I assumed, and I know I preach this all the time. Never freaking assume.
Yeah, you really thought he was going to the E because he teased it.
I really thought that he was going to be part of the whatever they're doing with Eric Rowan and Bo Dallas regarding the called tribute faction, whatever you want to call it, to Bray Wyatt. He's got history with Bray Wyatt. He was tag champions with him for a while, and yeah, it is what it is. I'm happy. I'm first of all, I'm happy he's back with TNA specifically because that character came from TNA.
Hey,
so in that
TNA
sense,
character.
I'm happy about that because everywhere else they did the gimmick.
They never let him go full into it. So it's just how much of the broken universe comes back. Do we get a full broken universe again? Is Vanguard 1 showing up on Thursday? We can only hope.
Is the whole family show?
Is Maclin coming back?
God. You know, what's interesting is if you were watching the pay-per-view and you kept it on your screen, about 20 to 30 seconds later, you heard like it was like part of the crowd noise seep through, and they maybe you can confirm this. They played the classic piano music.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like as he left the ring and walked through the crowd, he acted like it was the full piano version. So we might see Rebby back on piano at some point.
I would not be surprised. I like Rebby once he's not shooting her mouth off. just be the character, play the piano. We don't, that's all we need. No
more thoughts on Al's from Rebby.
You're right. Oh God. So here we go. Here's the Rebby. Here's the Rebby opinions. You get it.
That's the thing. I think part of the Matt stuff that gets bloated into all this other stuff, and just like the broken Matt by itself, you can't go wrong with it.
It's entertaining.
Like that's a winning formula.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely bring eyes. Like I know it was that early. Like people are going to tune in to see what he's going to do with that gimmick.
Oh yeah, cinematic or non-cinematic, they're going to tune in.
Yeah. So
the guys, when it came to some of that stuff, he's nothing short of a genius, man. We'll see.
So we'll see. We'll see how much they do with it.
And I think it's only a matter of time then. When does Jeff come back? And reunite with
that's the thing. And that's the thing. If you want to see Jeff return, this is probably the first step of that, because I think it's a foregone conclusion. He's going to finish whatever time's left on that deal and probably jet like Matt did. So now, once again, at that point, I still think they probably both want to do that Hall of Fame ending with WWE, but still, you might get another year and a half, 2 years before then. So, under the right circumstances, I think it could definitely work out for TNA. Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. I mean, the future's wide open when it comes to a character like that, because it's like the X-Division. There's no limits, There's no limit to what his crazy ass brain is going to come up with. But just the only thing I suggest is little conditioner on the hair, Matt. Little conditioner on the hair. Right? So, So
That's it, JB.
That is it. That is the pay-per-view in a nutshell. Almost a 2-hour nutshell. Thank you, Bill, for jumping in here. Sounds like you had fun. I know you had a very long day. So I'm gonna let you scoot on out of here, and I'm gonna go catch some Z's myself. But thank you everyone for showing up tonight. Can't wait for the aftermath to this. Folks, if you're new to the podcast, we do this every Thursday, about a half an hour following every TNA episodic show on Access TV, right here on this channel and on Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio. So make sure you check out all the links in the description on your way out. Make sure you check out our sponsor, Manscaped, where you can get 20% off using code TNI and free shipping. And you can, just do all the Manscaped things. We'll just leave it at that. It's too late for that. So thanks for joining us. Make sure you smash that like button on your way out. Smash that sub button. Ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Say goodnight, Bill, from Las Vegas.
Good night and viva Las Vegas.
All right.